Hey, what's up, guys? I'm sure all you want to learn the simplest tips, tricks, how-tos, what to do, what not to do. And today's video, I'm going to be showing you some of these things, and I'm going to buzz through this as quick as I can to keep you guys interested and not want to clip back out and go watch something else. So let's get right to it.
Yo, it's iGAMER Mike. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
Alright, just some general overall battle royale, just generic tips. Number one, don't be a loot whore. Don't run to a loot crate. Don't be so in such a hurry to open up somebody's bag. Use that shit as bait. Don't just, and if you see somebody, don't just open fire right away. Be smart, think it through, and execute it flawlessly. And I know that's hard to do. First thing that pops into your mind, hey, there's a guy, let's open fire. Especially if you're playing with a team, a squad, duos, anything like that. Make sure they understand, make sure your partner understands where these guys are at. Call it out, call out a number. The mini-map, the compass on top, it's not exactly pinpointed to their number. Like, say they're standing like 30-40 feet away from you, call out a range. Don't just be like, oh, they're at 75. Be like, oh, just be like, hey, they're between 240 and 285. Like, they're in a generic area. Don't just call out a solid number. They have to understand they could be, you know, a wide spot they could be between. Another thing is, don't underestimate perks. Perks are really strong, and I'm going to show a few examples of those later. The things I'm going to go through is grappling hooks, perks, different setups with different guns. I'm going to have probably 5-6 different things. Way to use trees as your advantage, bushes, anything you can hide behind that involves emotes. I'm going to go through some of that. And just a few generic things. Don't always think you have to go to like a name place like Rivertown Firing Range, you know, estates. If you're going to be doing that, you need to play some multiplayer, get used to quick response times, run and gun. You need to have that type of mindset, that type of play style. So don't just jump in and dive in right away. If you're like new to the game, you've never played Call of Duty, you've never played a battle royale, you want to have experience with close quarter combat and all of that. If you're new to the game, play the edge of the circle, try to be stealthy. Don't just run to like train station, ghost town, all the name places. Like I already said already. Let's see. Iron Lungs. This is actually the first one I was going to show you or talk to you about as far as perks. If a lot of people know that if you're sniping, you can hold your breath and let you hold your breath longer. But another very important thing it lets you do is you can actually hold your breath underwater longer. And I'll show you an example of that here in just a second. If let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to cross the water. So if I can make it to the water without dying, I will show you that. Outlander, that's a pretty simple perk. Basically, you take less damage from the storm. It's a good one to have, and that's another thing. Don't be afraid if you're going to have a major advantage by taking storm damage, especially the very first storm. Come up behind somebody in the storm. You can flank somebody in solo play. You don't have to have a teammate, or you don't have to have, you know, a squad. Just run in the storm, come up behind them, that sort of thing. Take like high ground, and have an advantage as far as coverage in the ground wise. You don't always have to be in high ground. You can use like ledges and valleys, stuff like that to your advantage. You don't always have to have high ground. I mean, 99.9% of the time, high ground is your advantage, but like I just said, valleys and nooks and crannies, stuff like that, can be to your advantage. Reinforced, that's less explosion damage and like mesh mines. Paranoia, that's a good one to have. If somebody's looking at you, you'll hear like oh, I don't know how to explain it really. It's just you'll hear a noise that you won't hear otherwise. It'll just be like a kind of like a whining or
Net call.
let's get down to the water so I can show you this iron lungs. Go ahead and pop it.
Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
But with iron lungs, the whole like with the iron lungs, a good thing to be able to stay underwater longer is say like you're over at cargo docks and you find a loot box and you have to, it won't take your health all the way down when you're trying to get the loot crate underwater, especially since hydro broke. All the water is way deeper. And if you didn't know, X brings you to the top and circle will shoot you straight down to the bottom. You see how instead of just looking down and diving, the circle, like I said, will bring you down. X will bring you right back up. So that's another good thing to know when you're in the water. But yeah, iron lungs. I mean, I can be down here a lot longer than I can without it. And it's a very good way to escape an enemy if you go all the way to the bottom. If you're just floating on the top, you're pretty easily seen. And consumer is another really, really good perk to have because you heal up so much faster. Medic, if you have medic and consumer at the same time, it's just insane how much faster you heal. And it's very good for if you're, like I said earlier, if you don't want to be, if you can't be afraid to stay in the storm. You got to be able to come up behind somebody and take a little bit of storm damage. And consumer and medic are very good for that. And another thing is, you don't have to drop all of your attachments. See how it says hold triangle to swap and attach? That took me, I don't always take the time to read and kind of evaluate everything. It took me time to learn all this stuff. But the less time you have to spend swapping out attachments and standing in one place or laying down in one place, the less likely you are to take unnecessary damage or actually possibly getting killed. And sensor darts, they are your best friend. Put them on a car, put them on a helicopter. Looter, this is really nice because it shows you, let's see. Say you're looking for, like, for example, my favorite place to use looter is the cemetery because everything is underground there. I mean, almost everything. It takes a second for it to load in. And that's, like I said, that's valuable time not wasted. And just because of, like, this 4x scope, just because it fits on this K&N, oh! Gotcha, sucker. This Damon, man. This thing's deadly. And I'm going to show you something here a little bit later with this truck. I'm actually about to stop recording here and show some examples of a grappling gun and some other things that I was talking about earlier when I first started the video. Cut it a little bit short, make it a shorter video for y'all.
Be advised, further collapse expected. Relocate to safe zone.
And another thing about battle royales is you got to be conscious of the storm. and you want to play the smaller side of the circle so you don't have as far to run. But this is kind of dangerous ground here, going through some really dense populated areas. Yeah, as soon as I die and finish this match, I will edit out some shorter gameplay. And show just the few things I was talking about at the beginning of this video for y'all. And another thing is a good, I don't like scuff because they don't feel solid at all. If you can afford a good custom controller that you can remap, I highly recommend the Astro C40s because the back, it already comes with circle and X, and I like it because you don't ever have to take your hands off the trigger buttons. You can slide with the left one and then jump with the right one, so you can do a slide jump if somebody's giving you fire and you want to get behind something and make it a little more difficult for them to hit you.
Circle collapse imminent.
You
Get to
can
safety.
constantly have your finger on the trigger buttons, the scope and the trigger. I should have ran around this area. That's one thing you don't want to do, is get caught up in a really highly populated area when a storm is moving, because you never know when somebody's going to pop up behind you. And a storm makes it really hard to hear footsteps. Stalker, mobility, and dead silence is very, very dangerous. And see if I have Stalker or not. Dead silence, paranoia, reinforced mobility. But no, if I had Stalker and dead silence, I could basically crouch and be completely silent and move very, very fast. And Brawler, oh man, Brawler is very, very underrated. Most people just pass it up, but it doesn't matter if you have a weapon or just your fists. Brawler is actually a one-hit kill. But even if you don't use a gun, I recommend having a gun with a scope on it, so you can, especially if you're running solos. If you're running duos or squads and you have another person with a long-range scope on it, it's not as necessary because they can call out enemies. But if you're playing solos, I highly recommend having something that can have at least 4 times. But see, if I had Stalker on, I'd be moving like I was sprinting right now. I always grab fresh armor when I see it, just in case. I know there's the blue bar down in the corner, shows your armor.
Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
I'll go ahead and show you guys the trick with this truck while there's one right here. I know I shouldn't be making this much noise and I'm gonna probably die in the storm, but you can actually drop all your weapons to the back of the truck and carry around a full arsenal in the truck. If you're playing, say you're playing solos and you want to have multiple different weapons, you can drive around a truck and carry all the weapons you want. So if you want to switch between like a sniper or like submachine guns or what have you, you got them right there in the back of your vehicle, and you can park it wherever you want, and you know where it's at, and chances are nobody's gonna climb in the back of the truck if you park it somewhere kind of hidden. So there's kind of an example of knowing when to engage and when not to, because I knew I wouldn't hit him from that distance. And periodically look behind you, make sure there's nobody that's caught in a storm that's going to come up behind you, because like I said, it's kind of hit and miss on when you want to run through the storm and don't. And if somebody sees you and they want to be stealthy, they may just stay in the storm until they feel like they have an advantage if they've got plenty of wraps and have like consumer or medic or something like that.
Be advised, further collapse expected. Relocate to safe zone.
And this is my least favorite place. Oh, there we go. Got a buddy over here just over the hill. And that's another thing, you don't always want to go for the most kills, because the thing is, if you want to get a W, you gotta be the last person alive. So there's somebody right there, but he's too far away. I'm actually gonna try to make my way over towards him. And chances are he's gonna run along the edge of that pipeline. Just gonna quickly make my way back to the wall, try to get to where nobody can come up behind me. Oh! Yep. Let's see what he got me on here. Yeah, I believe that was the guy that was up by the pipeline. Yep, that's another mistake I made. I was scoped in for too long, so that was my fault. But anyways, I'm going to stop recording and pick back up and show you some of those other tips that I was talking about that takes a little bit of gameplay to actually show you, or some specific, like with the grappling hook. I already showed you the iron lungs underwater, being able to dive deeper and stay longer, but I've got a few others that I want to show you that take a little bit of actually physical evidence, or gameplay to actually explain. So I will be right back with that game footage. Alright guys, I landed up here by the edge of the map just to kind of show you the tree and bush and rock thing I was talking about with the emotes. Basically, if you want to be able to peek around a tree or a rock without like having to step aside and taking some damage, letting anybody see you, simply just grab an emote that's anything really, as long as you can be behind it and not be seen, and you could pan around. You could pan around with any emote, but you want one that you could back out of by just pressing circle. The one where you sit down on the ground is my personal favorite. But again, same with trees. Instead of having to step out and potentially getting shot at, just use that emote, and there you go. You can see around the tree, see which side of a rock or a tree another person or an enemy is on without being seen yourself. And that's basically it, man. That's one of the best like tricks in the game that a lot of people don't really think of or use, and it works with trees, bushes, rocks, pretty much anything. I mean, you got a long range of sight around you, so that's a great one to use. I see people, like, you wonder how people know where you're at without actually peeking around the corner. That's how. 99.9% of the time, that is how they know where you are. And another thing is, like, say I have automatic gun, and you know it's a popular place, don't wait until you get around the door to start shooting. Shoot before you run around the door, because there's a little bit of a delay when you actually pull the trigger. So pull the trigger and then run around the corner if you hear footsteps and you think there's somebody there. I mean, yeah, sometimes it'll give your position away, but if you know for a fact that they're there, start shooting before you walk around the corner. Otherwise, chances are there's a 50-50 chance that they're going to kill you, but it's almost a 90% chance that you're going to kill them first, or at least knock them if you're playing duos or squads. But if those bullets are already coming out of your gun, there's a high chance you're going to get the kill. So those two, the rock, the emote behind a tree, rock, and a bush, and then the pre-shooting or pre-firing, those are two very good useful tips. So I'm going to stop recording, go find a grappling gun, and I will be back. Alright, so very quickly before I get shot, because I am in a live game, show you guys properly how to use this grappling hook here. A lot of you guys struggle with it. It's pretty easy to get up on a roof like this, but say you have a flat roof that has a ledge on it and you're trying to shoot the lip of it and get up there and climb. A little bit of a help here with that. Shoot the lip, and then right before you get to it, double tap X, because it'll jump and then grab onto the ledge and pull you up, like you'll climb up the ledge. So shoot, double tap X. Well, I didn't. I'm sorry, that was a fail. But let's get a little bit closer. Jump and double tap X, and you'll get up there almost every single time. I know that first one, or that second attempt, wasn't really that great, but one more time. I hope I don't fail again. But shoot the lip when you get close. Terrible. I at least got it once for you guys. But yeah, just shoot the lip of it. I don't use them that often, so I'm not really that great with them myself. I just was showed that by somebody else, and so I kind of know how to do it properly, and I wasn't aware of it until I was showed it. So I figured I'd just show you guys how to do that for yourselves. Oh, there's a guy down here. Let's see if I can go kill him. He's getting in the car. Is he gonna come back? Nope, he's gonna run like a bitch. Oh, here we go. Come on, help me out here, buddy. Help me out. Go get him. Which side are you gonna be on? Did you go inside the window? Huh? Did you go in the door, sucker? I think you did. Fucker. Can't believe you got me with that fucking cordite. Anyways, that's my grappling hook tip and trick for you guys. Not really a trick, just kind of a tip and a little bit of a pointer. I'm not that good at executing it because, like I said, I don't use them that often. I use them more to get away than anything. When I have a whole team chasing me and I'm the only guy left in a squad or something. But that's that. And enjoy the rest of the video. Alright guys, so this one is gonna be, if I can get away from all the fucking shooting and everything, is gonna be a character unlock and a trophy system slash vehicle slash helicopter, just how to not get shot down in a helicopter or a vehicle with throwables or an RPG. And when I say character unlock, I mean woods. I would say it's the hardest one to get in the game. I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of my opinion. But the only location that the required item spawns is right here in this little area between construction site, train station, firing range. There is a bandana. It's just called Woods' bandana. You gotta grab it, and you gotta fly the helicopter around. I'm not really sure how long of a time period it is, but you just check the bandana itself in the inventory, and the helicopter is here, so the bandana will be here. It's guaranteed every time, but it really helps if you have a trophy system. Oh shit, there's somebody else here, and there's no weapon for me to pick up. Yep. Anyways, I'm not going to go back there again. I'm just going to explain the basics of what to do. With the trophy system, you basically attach it to any vehicle. The helicopter's a little bit tricky. If you try to throw in the seats, a lot of time it'll bounce out. But you can actually put it on the rail of the landing gear, and 99.9% of the time it'll stick. And you get 5, I believe it's 5 shots before the trophy system is destroyed, but it will repel rocket launchers, throwables, anything of that sort. You can put it on four-wheelers, boats, the deuce and a half, the ATV with the turn. I forget what it's called. But anyways, you could put it on anything that moves. You could put it in a room. It's a very, very, very underestimated gadget, but it's very, very useful on vehicles, and especially if you're trying to get woods, because you probably can't fly far enough without it. Because you kind of have to fly like 90% of the way across the map, and some asshole always walks onto you, and you have to bail, and so you don't get that distance you need to travel in the helicopter for the first check mark. And the reason I say it's the hardest character to unlock is because you have to actually win the match, whether it's a solo, a duo, or a quad. So you have to have the distance traveled, and you have to have the win. But I'm not going to go back there and try to get the helicopter and the bandana. And sometimes there is a trophy system that spawns on one of the tarps. Used to, it was like every time the bandana was there was always a trophy system, but they kind of took that away. So if you're lucky enough to get one, you're lucky enough to get one. If not, you're not. But that's it for this segment. So continue watching and I'll have another tip or trick for you. Alright, a lot of times I get the question of how do you make it all the way across the map as far as you do. Used to, you would go down until you hit 60 with your on the right side of your screen over there where the bar is. But as I just did, if you want, it's not going to give you the most speed, but you will get a lot of distance out of it, which I kind of messed up. I waited too late or a little bit early. I wasn't really watching my screen. I mean, I did start all the way over here, and I did make it pretty much 90% of the way across the map to Hydro, but normally I could make it all the way to the houses back here. But yeah, they changed it to, it used to be if you'd go to 60 and then pull back up, that was the best way to make it as far as you possibly can on the map. But now you just want to go like I just did. Well, not did, but sort of did. Just go straight down until your hands start to move closer to your side, then pull back up. It's going to be a little bit slow. Oh, look, a big box. It's going to be a little bit slower traveling speed, but you'll be able to make it farther. But if you want to make it really, really fast to your destination, then you're going to want to go down to about 62, 63, and then pull back up, or go at an angle, just depending on how far you need to go.
Net call. Supply drop incoming.
Is this guy above, below me, in this building right here? Where are you? Oh! Well, anyways, yeah, I'm going to go. This is my last part of this video. I hope you guys got something from this. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, leave a like and a comment. If you have any more questions, I mean, I've played since drop, since release date, so I'm not by any means, I wouldn't even consider myself really all that decent at the game. I mean, I know a lot about the game, I just don't always execute everything. I'm not really what you'd call young with a lot of reaction time anymore, so and like I said earlier in my first part of this video, if you've never played this or you need to get used to having good fast reaction times, go play some multiplayer and just run and gun, get used to having to play at a fast pace, and before you know it, you will be quick on the trigger and stuff like that. That's really some of the basics. So oh, let's see, what can I drop this? And another thing is too, you want to have you don't want to have two of the same weapons. Like both of these are 5.56 ammo. I shouldn't really do that because, like, if I use ammo from this gun, it's gonna limit the amount of ammo I have on the other guns. So you want to have like 7.62 and 5.56 or 9mm and 5.56. You don't really want to have the same ammo for both your guns, because if you run out of ammo on one gun, chances are you may have like 30 some bullets left over. Like, see, my top number is 36 and 52. It all just depends on what your clip holds. But if your bottom number is empty, your bottom number is going to be empty on your other gun. So you want to have two different ammos, or two different guns that have different ammo. Let's see if I can get this dude. Well, there was a guy down there, and then there was a guy that was up here. Sounds to me like they found each other. But also, if you play a lot of multiplayer, then you can figure out what guns you're good with, what ones you're not, that sort of thing. Need armor repair. Sounds really close. Open. Oh yeah, another thing. You can shoot a door open.
Be advised, further collapse expected. Relocate to safe zone.
I normally wouldn't recommend that with a silenced gun though. And like I said earlier too in my first session of this video, it helps a lot to have a good headset and a good controller if you really want that competitive edge, which right now I only have a good oh, here's a good example of baiting. Haha, gotcha, sucker. Perfect example of baiting somebody right there. Perfect example of baiting. As I talked about earlier, when you see a bag or a supply drop, don't go for it. Just unzip it, back up.
Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
And do your thing. Same way with the supply drop. Open it, back up. See if anybody's around. My brother actually is the one that taught me that. I never thought of that on my own, so I gotta give him credit for that. I might as well finish this game out and keep the video rolling. That guy had iron lugs in his bag. I should have taken it.
Supply drop inbound.
Let's see, what do I got for a scope on that? Let's see. And if a guy has armor plates in his bag, always check your armor before you leave those armor plates in his
Further
bag.
collapse expected. Travel to indicated safe zone.
Well, that was a fail. Ooh, what is this cool gun? MX9. Damn, I still need an optic for this. I'd like a 4x scope. I think that guy had one in his bag that I killed earlier, but I'm not gonna go back for it.
Net call. Supply drop incoming.
Oh, there's been somebody here,
Circle
so.
collapse imminent. Get to safety.
Somebody on this bridge. Hear a sniper off up there. See if this, wait for this guy to take off running across the bridge again from the storm. He's gonna be getting pushed, so. I got another trauma kit, so I'm gonna take a little bit of storm damage, I think. There he goes. Where'd he disappear to? There he goes up the hill.
Further collapse expected. Travel to indicated safe zone.
Gotcha, sucker. Slap on my trauma kit really quick. This is where I gotta be really careful.
Supply drop inbound. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
Oh my gosh. Lagging a little bit. I can almost guarantee. Okay, good. There's a supply drop. So I'm going to stay back, kind of play the edge a little bit as much as I can. I wish I had some perks right now. Throw this smoke over here as a distraction. Way to see if there's anybody that pops a head over that rock trying to snipe people coming from the storm. Come on, come on. Okay, now's a good time for me to go up there. And you always, when you're running up a place like this, you always want to keep you don't want to be looking down. You want to keep your scope at about head height. And I've got the tree to my back. So maybe it's nice to always have the height advantage.
Further collapse expected. Travel to indicated safe zone.
Woo! See, there's a very good example of using the. See, I can see he's going from tree to tree, so now I know where he's at. He knows I'm still here, so.
Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
He's back at the. Watch this. So let's not do that quite yet. Oh, there's a Cincy dart. Oh man. A little bit of wild shooting there. But yeah, once again, I hope some of those tips helped out, tricks, whatever you want to call them. I should have got the dub on that one. As soon as I heard that sensor dart, I should have just used my grapple and got out of there. But like I said, it's all about quick thinking, getting caught up in the moment. Sit here and let this match play out. See who wins. The circle is going to be getting pretty small here pretty soon. Only 4 people left, so like I said, if this helps you out in any way, really appreciate it if you drop the like and then subbed as well. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos instead of just live streaming. As I learn more every day, so what I can do to help you guys. I also, if you have a video that you don't see anything that I posted of as far as tips and stuff, I'll watch it, I'll check it out, and go from there. I mean, maybe even have additional stuff to add to what you guys. Oh, there he is! Get him! Get him! Get him! Yeah, like I said, if you guys have some tips and tricks of your own, maybe we can add to them and contribute, help each other out. He's dead. Oh, I thought he wasn't even hitting him. And off to the left. Ah, he's way off, way off. Get him before he jumps down. Oh, he jumped on the wrong side. What are those guys playing as a... Those guys were playing as a team. Are you serious right now? You have to be kidding me. I hate that shit. That shit makes me so salty. So salty. Get him. Get him. Get his ass. Thank you. Thank you for getting his ass. They were playing as a fucking team. Oh, that irks me to no end. Well, anyways, like I said a few times before, drop a like, leave a comment if you have any questions on anything in this video. Just let me know. I'll respond fairly quickly. I have notifications that go to my phone and I can respond mobily. So yeah, I'm usually pretty quick to getting back to questions. Right now, like I said, this is my first video or guide or anything since I came back. I've been away for about 2 years, so my channel hasn't been that busy. So I'll be pretty responsive to just about anybody and everybody. And there is no dumb questions, so don't be afraid to ask anything. And with that being said, peace out, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, and share everything. Later, guys.